We treat digital maps as absolute truth, a direct, objective reflection of the Earth updated in real time from orbit. But that omniscience is an illusion. For over 2 centuries, official charts included Sandy Island in the Coral Sea. It was a staple of cartography, until 2012, when an Australian expedition sailed to the coordinates and found nothing but open water. The island was a phantom, likely a charting error from a 1700s whaling ship, copied for generations. Once the error was confirmed, tech companies deleted the landmass from their servers overnight. Large swaths of the physical world remain invisible for a simpler reason: lack of profit. In Antarctica, extreme blizzards make satellite photography difficult, and with no ad revenue in mapping empty ice sheets, the industry simply doesn't bother. When our maps are shaped by centuries-old errors and corporate indifference, they create a cartographic vacuum, and powerful entities have learned how to occupy those blind spots. At the first level of manipulation, private citizens use legal and personal protections to force their way off the grid. In 2008, a wealthy homeowners association in North Oaks, Minnesota, threatened Google with trespassing charges for driving on their private roads. Google complied immediately, scrubbing the entire gated community from Street View. While some erase themselves to protect property values, others do it to bury trauma. On Seymour Avenue in Cleveland, a specific house is now entirely pixelated. This was the home of Ariel Castro, who held 3 women captive in his basement for nearly a decade. Because the victims were still trapped inside when the Street View cameras originally passed by, Google pulled the images following the rescue. The house was demolished shortly after, leaving only a digital blur where the structure once stood. At this level, editing the map serves as a defensive wall, a way to shield private lives or bury the physical reminders of a traumatic past. Move up the power hierarchy, and national security interests begin to override the public's access to geographic truth. France maintains some of the world's strictest censorship laws for digital maps. The Toulon Naval Base, the country's most significant defense port, appears as a massive pixelated dead zone online. This blackout protects France's high-value nuclear assets, including their primary aircraft carrier and the submarines that carry their atomic warheads. Even civilian infrastructure is fair game. France blurs facilities like the Baumettes prison in Marseille to prevent a repeat of past incidents, where inmates used online map data to coordinate a helicopter escape. While France blurs specific targets, South Korea employs a strategy of total data restriction. They have spent decades refusing to export high-precision map data to any Silicon Valley company. This is a matter of survival. With a hostile neighbor just across the DMZ frequently threatening military action, the South Korean government treats detailed topography as a state secret. For the state, a transparent map represents a tactical vulnerability. Geography is a resource that must be controlled to protect national sovereignty. At the absolute peak of the power hierarchy, authoritarian regimes weaponize the map to fabricate entirely alternate realities. In the East Siberian Sea, the Russian government manipulated imagery of Jeanette Island. Rather than using a standard blur, they pasted a fake digital texture over the island to deceive casual observers about what is actually on the ground. North Korea takes this further, existing as a largely unmarked, low-resolution void. This digital isolation ensures the population remains cut off from global geographic context. In Equatorial Guinea, President Diodoro Obiang has used billions in state funds to construct a massive, brand-new capital city, Ciudad de la Paz, deep in the middle of the jungle. Satellite views of the city are selectively blurred. While the surrounding forest is sharp, the luxury hotels and golf courses built for the elite are pixelated, concealing the scale of the regime's systemic corruption. Dictatorships utilize erasure as an offensive weapon, a tool to rewrite physical truth and camouflage the movement of stolen wealth. Looking at the digital globe today, the idea of the map as an objective record of our world is dead. What we see is actually a patchwork of legal settlements, military standoff zones, and state-sponsored deceptions. Every digital blur functions as a precise signature of power. It identifies exactly who controls the narrative, where the world's true secrets are kept, and what those in charge are terrified for the public to see.